Hello, welcome to my YouTube channel. Today I'm going to be doing a February reading roundup. These are my favorite to watch, so I'm so excited to film my very first one. If you like it, please do like and subscribe to my channel. I'm so happy you're here, and let's get into it. I managed to finish 7 books this month. 7? 6? 6 books this month, 5 here and 1 audiobook. I've been doing Audible for about a month now and I like it. It's just, I feel like the books go a lot slower through 1 audiobook a month. However, I'm not sure if I'm going to keep that up. Let me know in the comments if you yourself have Audible and if you like it. Also wanted to add that I am currently in my Matilda era. I am going to the library and checking books out at the library as opposed to buying all the books I read. I found that when I would buy books and not like the books, what do you do with them after that? So I just felt that going to the library and checking out the books and seeing if I like it, and if I really truly love a book, I will then go back and buy it. And so far it's been great. This is my first real month that I've been doing more so library reads. So they don't have a lot of the newer reads, which is kind of a bummer, but on their website and find the hold process, I found that they have a lot more newer reads and things that I'm really interested in. Without further ado, the first book I finished this month was Kristin Hannah's Magic Hour. I've read The Nightingale from this author before, and it's one of my all-time favorite books. Magic Hour was a wholesome story about a girl who was found in the woods. It seemed like she was raised by wolves because she was about 7 or 8 years old and didn't know how to speak. She was really scared. A sister duo, one is a cop, one is a therapist, really take her under their wing and try to learn more about her and try to put it out in the news to see if anyone comes forward. And the therapist really has a deep connection with her and starts to unravel things about her life. She starts to talk. I don't want to give too much away, but it was a really wholesome story. However, I didn't feel the need to rush and go read it, and that is kind of my telling sign of if a book is 5 stars or not. So I'm going to rate this one 3 out of 5. I finished The Nightingale, like I mentioned, for the second time. This time I listened to it on audiobook, and that book makes me cry every single time. Like, I'm talking sobbing tears. It is such an amazing story about 2 sisters in occupied France. It's what they're going through throughout World War II. It's heartbreaking. The 2 sisters, one is a rebel, the other one has a family, and it kind of goes back and forth between Vianne and Isabel. It's just such a good story. It's definitely a commitment because it is over 700 pages, but I am telling you, it is one of my favorite books of all time. I highly recommend it. The Nightingale by Kristin Hannah, 10 out of 10, 5 out of 5. However you rate your books, it's the best. Okay, another one was Taylor Jenkins Reid, Carrie Soto is back. She's one of my favorite authors. I think that her writing style is so amazing and she really draws you in with the story. And this one was about a tennis star who was the most decorated player in the game, and then she retires and someone's coming for her titles. So 6 years later, after she retires, she gets out of retirement to come back for her crown, basically. The first part of the book is about her as a younger girl. She actually loses her mother and she's very close with her father, who also was a very famous tennis player. So he trains her, gets her ready for it, but also tries to push her to greatness. And because of that, she's pretty obsessed with being a tennis star, being the best. If she's not the best, she gets like so upset. What I love about Taylor Jenkins Reid is not only does she bring in other characters from her previous books, like Malibu Rising. Carrie Soto was the girl who had an affair with Nina's husband, if you remember. But also she just does this thing where like she has a whole back and forth with sportscasters. So there's one section where it's like the book, and then the next one is like sportscasters talking about Carrie Soto, and I just loved that little tidbit. Really a big sports girl, but I really loved reading this book. I learned a lot about tennis as a game, and I'm reading this one a 5 out of 5. And for one of the books that I wasn't crazy about this month, The Last Thing He Told Me, it's actually being made into a Netflix series soon. I hope it's better than this book because this book sucked. I really didn't like it. It's about a husband and wife. They've only been married for about a year, and The wife is an artist. The husband works in tech. They live in Sausalito. That was probably my favorite part of the book, was the fact that they lived in Sausalito. But basically he goes missing and they find out that he has a past life that starts to unravel. He leaves behind a 16-year-old daughter that the girl now needs to take care of. So they travel to Austin, Texas to see on where he is, because somehow it led them to Austin, Texas. Anyways, I didn't find myself interested in this book. I'm gonna rate this one a 1.5 out of 5. Hoping the Netflix series will be better. I'll probably watch it just so I can tell the difference, and I will definitely let you guys know. I just finished this last night and it was so good, you guys. This book is about a girl who's 16, goes over about the span of her life of 3 years. She lives in upstate New York and she has an abusive and alcoholic father. He doesn't take care of her. He kind of leaves her to fend for her own in this motorhome in upstate New York while he goes lives with another woman and has another family, and she just needs to get away. So she gets away. She also is a musician, so she plays guitar and she sings. So it's just about her life over the span of 3 years of going through the motions, becoming a singer, and she just travels the country and meets all these people and creates these relationships. Some are sad, others not so much, but it is just such a beautiful story, and I like the way that it was written. It was categorized in 3 parts, and it's a quick read. I think that I read it in about 3 days. I really truly loved it, and one of my favorite books that I've read this year, and I've heard really good things about it, and it definitely lived up to the hype. So I'm gonna rate this one a 4.5 out of 5. Another book that I didn't care too much for, Alice Feeney, Rock, Paper, Scissors. I read her book, His and Hers, last year. I really liked that book. I was craving a thriller and a mystery because I've been reading a lot of romance and spicy novels as of late. January book review, you know what I'm talking about. But this one wasn't that thrilling, and so it didn't really give me the thriller I needed. It's about a couple who lives in London and they take a vacation to Scotland in an abandoned chapel. They won this vacation and they get there and things start to go weird. The story goes through their current life, so like them at the chapel, the letters that the wife wrote to the husband throughout all the years of their marriage. So it's pretty cool to see. There were 2 crazy twists at the end. That was probably the best part of these books, but aside from that, I thought it was very meh, kind of boring, like wasn't enough intrigue to get me interested in reading it at night. So I'm gonna rate this one a 2 out of 5. That is it for my February book reading roundup. Let me know in the comments if you've read any of these and if you have any suggestions for me to read in March. I am excited to do these monthly, so please like and subscribe if you haven't already. Thank you, fam. I hope you guys enjoyed this.